On today's link, today we're talking about a case raging in Cross River State and in the legal profession. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 3 minutes past 4, and on the glass ceiling, we talk about the different barriers that hold women back in the workplace, in the community, in the society, at home, politics, everywhere. And the more aware of them, the better we can join force to shatter these glass ceilings. So men can get to the higher get. So earlier in the year, judge of Cross River State, Justice Michael, retired. Now there's a procedure for what happens when a chief judge retires. The State Judicial Service Commission, JSC, sends the name of the most senior judge, the federal JSC. The federal JSC appoints that judge as acting chief judge until the State House of Assembly can confirm them as substantive chief judge. So next most senior judge, Justice Akwa Ibom, a woman. Okay, no wala. Time for State JSC to send her name to federal JSC, Abi? Wrong. The governor, Ben Ayade, says no. Do you know his reason? Justice Ibom is not from Cross River State, he says. She's an indigene of Akwa Ibom. But hold on. Justice Ibom might have been born at the of Cross River, but she is married to an indigene. Her husband is a Cross Riverian, and in the Cross Rivers judiciary for her entire career as a judge. But none of that mattered to Governor Ben Ayade. Meanwhile, the state JSC said it was going to follow the rules and send Ibom's name to Abuja. The governor said, is that so? He created a new JSC, a new Judicial Services Commission, and sent another name to Abuja. But when the federal JSC got the new name, they said no way. They insisted that Cross River follow the rules. So they waited for the original JSC to send the name, and they sent Justice Ibom's name. And so she became acting chief judge. But the story doesn't end there. Ibom's tenure as acting chief judge expired. It was time for the State House to confirm her as substantive chief judge. But they voted against it. The State House of Assembly voted against confirming Ibom because, according to them, she is not an indigene of the state. This happened this month. This happened in Nigeria. A woman got married. She adopted her husband's state as her own, as prescribed in the Constitution and the law. She worked for the state her whole career. She did her job diligently. She rose up to the second most senior judge in the land. And then, when the time came for her to climb to the top, the leaders of the state denied her. And they said, "You're not really one of us." And that's what we're discussing today on the glass ceiling. What do you think about what just happened to Justice Akwa Ibom in Cross River State? Do you agree or disagree with the governor and the House? Is Justice Akwa from Cross River State, or is she from Akwa Ibom State, or is she from both, or is she from neither? I want to know. Do you agree with the governor of the state and the House of Assembly? Do you think Justice Ibom is from Cross River State or from Akwa Ibom State, or she's from both states? Or do you think she's not from either of the states? What do you think about what just happened to Justice Ibom in Cross River State? 0700 993 993 993. 0700 993 993 993. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. 0700 993 993 993. Let me talk to Ayola. Okay. Hello, Ayola. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for calling me.
Yeah, I've been following the trend of this Cross River, Akwa Ibom State Chief Justice for some time now.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing it up. You see, I would just I don't know what's wrong with our governors. Once they are in that power, they don't want any other person to rise once not from their state.
Okay.
What did you mean by not that she's not from their state? For crying out loud, even if she's not married to someone from that place, she's a Nigerian.
Okay.
And she's supposed to be entitled to what is entitled to her.
Okay.
So
But also she is married to somebody from that state. That means constitutionally she is from that state.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. So what do we say about Nigeria making waves in America, being voted for? So when somebody in his or our own country cannot aspire for higher position, even though she's from that side, she's married to somebody there, so automatically that state becomes ours. And she has been working in that state for all her entire life. So she needs to be, I want justice to be done on that.
All right. Let me talk to Oliver Inogun, who believes that she should not have been denied. Hey, do you think she's from Cross River State? Oliver? Hello, Oliver? Oliver? Oliver's not there anymore. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Martin Williams.
Martin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Do you think what the governor and the House of Assembly did was the right thing?
My sister, Nigeria will not treat her amazing.
Okay.
It is very, very wrong and very, very wrong. It's condemnable.
Okay.
When somebody got married to anywhere, if a Nigerian is got married to a Chinese, definitely she's a Chinese. I don't see the reason that the governor will say that Ibom is not from Akwa Ibom.
Okay. Not from Cross River.
He's not from Cross River. It's a native of Cross River. Nigeria Constitution made it clear that when a woman is married, she has no home anymore except the home of the husband. So the National House of Assembly, I mean the Cross River State House of Assembly, are working with the governor. And it's condemnable, please. Nigeria should stop this. Quite a long time I learned that they are still killing twins in some part of the north. All these things is old things that Nigeria have been doing. Please, I condemn it.
You condemn it, he says. Zulu's in Surulere. Hello, Zulu.
Hello, Sandra Ezekwesili.
How are you?
I know.
What do you think about what's happening in Cross River?
Yes, you see, as a professor in there, it's just like that. He's a terrible human being. Remember what happened to the journalist that he sent to, he just formulated something and the man was detention for a long time. Yeah, I did just like that. And I hope whatever he do, don't anybody reflect to leave office.
All right, Zulu, thanks for calling me. Up to you now. Hello. 9.3. Yes, thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
For me, it's very, very wrong.
Okay.
You see, this is we allow tribe religion to do. And moreover, this also time against the human, the family populace we have in this country. Just because she's a lady, she got married to another man who is from another state, and they were one from one state. It's very wrong. Let us consider her for God's sake. It's not fair. Somebody who started from a junior level and got to that level, and you want to deny that person. It's so at all these years. I just pray one day God will just remove all these people from this so that we have peace. And we are all Nigerians. I don't believe that I'm from this state or I'm from that state. I wonder who were the people that brought that state issues into this country. Thank you very much. That will be my contribution.
Thanks for calling me. My final call is Chris in Okumaiko. Hello, Chris.
Hello, one and one. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sandra. We are here again. So we are in the same pedestrian road again. It's most unfortunate. But today, the governor he got it wrong.
Okay.
because here he's trying to bring up culture here. But in this case, the woman, she's on the right track. She merited to be the chief judge.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the constitution, she met it constitutionally speaking. So I don't see any reason why she should be denied what she priceless should be in her position.
Okay.
The government is getting it wrong. I want the National Judicial Council to, possibly, call him to order. It's an abuse. I'm not in support of that at all.
All right, Chris, we're calling to share your thoughts. FIDA has weighed in on the case. FIDA is the International Federation of Women Lawyers. Let me read what they had to say. Quote, the action in appointing a junior judge instead of Justice Akwa Ibom, who is the next senior judge in the hierarchy of River State judiciary, is a grave injustice. Justice Ibom, being senior judge in the state, is the right person to act of the state since nothing else disqualifies. The government cannot impose junior based on tribalism and zoning. Section 271, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, confirms this position and is further supported by our leagues of practice. The profession does not tolerate from the practice. End of quote. So that's what to say. That's more or less what the FCC said as well when they rejected the other nomination. GSC said, basically, look, unless you have some clear case, you cannot bypass her. She is the most senior judge in the... So the rules of legal are clear. And the laws, the land, are clear. In spite of all of this, the of the state and the House of Assembly have both decided that she will not be chief judge because she is not from the state. FIDA, a very big point. FIDA is tribalism. And you might be saying right now, sucking this into a women's issue, are we in the teams of tribalism? Not. Men are targeted for them as well. Men are also told, like Justice Ibom, that they can get stuff in their wives' states. So, for instance, let's roles. If Justice Ibom wanted to get a position in where his wife is from, probably will not get it either. They'll tell from Akwa Ibom. But here's this. When a man gets married, he's not told to remove eye from his homeland and face his wife's homeland. There is expectation that the man should change his identity. A caller said, it's even in the constitution. When a woman marries, she's supposed to land and go to her husband's land. That's not in the constitution, by the way. But you see that it's expected. Well, there is expectation that the man should change his identity. When Justice Ibom married her husband, he was not expected to become a Akwa Ibomite. He was not expected to make himself a citizen of her state and start working there. But guess what? All these things were expected of Akwa Ibom. The moment she married her husband, she was expected to become a citizen of his state. And so she worked in the state. She served the state. She climbed diligently up the ladder, applying her knowledge as a judge to serve her husband's state, because it was now her own state. And now she's being told, oh, by the way, we remember that you're not really from here. So isn't it sexist that our society expects women to adopt their husband's state and community, but when it is time for them to benefit personally, people can step forward and tell them they don't really belong? Do you think our society, by pushing women to become members of their husband's states, exposes them to tribalism without protecting them? Do you think our society, by pushing women to be members of their husband's states, exposes them to tribalism without protecting them? 0700 993 993 993. 0700 993 993 993. You're listening to The Glass Ceiling on 99.3 Nigeria Info. WhatsApp is available as well. WhatsApp is 080 959 75 80 080 75805. Tweet at me as well at Nigeria Info FM. Facebook is Nigeria Info 9.3. We're streaming this conversation at the moment and I want to read your comments. Kind King is from Festa. Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Do you think our society, by pushing women to become members of their husband states, expose them to tribalism without protecting them?
Well, initially to comment on the government decision and how shameful it is for him to have decided to say the judge is not qualified for that office. But however, with this question also, I really think because our society is messed up. In that sense, we want to get things from people, but we don't want to give what we are supposed to. So on many occasions, yes, we expose women to tribalism without protecting them. And that is why you see in some homes, you keep highlighting what a woman should do and not highlight what you're supposed to do for that woman for doing this, for taking your name, for choosing to be your person, for embracing your religion, your own culture. How about her interest in that? So, yeah, often that happens, but it can happen to anyone, gender notwithstanding. Both male and female tend to face this problem because the society, the structure, the moral values has been messed up. So people don't just want to do things, putting others' welfare place. They all think about corruption, nepotism, and all this egocentrism and interest has fitted into us. So, yeah, that happens, but gender notwithstanding, it happens to both male and female.
Let me talk to Chisom in Ajao Estate. Hello, Chisom.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Regarding the topic, these things happen in this country, and sometimes you wonder, what's the Nigerian project? For instance, every American you know wants to be proud to be an American, irrespective of state. But here you come. When you come from a certain part of the country, you put in the work, like you said. She has been working diligently, climbing the ladder as a judge in Cross River State. When she was rendering her services, they didn't tell her to, can you please take some of these services to your parent states? They didn't do that. She grew up the ladder, now to the point of, both of us, so to speak, they are telling her she's from Akwa Ibom. Considering these two states used to be one state. Yes, if I'm correct.
Yes.
States used to be one state.
Yes.
If you're discriminating against your former member of the state, imagine what they would do that is not.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. So calling though. Chinedu, hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the show now. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, personally, I feel the governor is very sentimental.
Okay.
I give you instances about what happened in Anambra State.
Okay.
Senator she's from a different town, and she's representing Anambra Central.
Okay.
So I think the governor is just being sentimental in his decision.
Okay.
Even when it comes to Dora Quinley, she was not part of the town. Her husband was from a different place. So I think generally the governor and his crew members, the members of the house are being
but you see, Chinedu, this was just one example. There are several examples of where women are facing this kind of thing. For instance, civil service, you have women who cannot be promoted because they will tell them, oh, you're not from your husband's state. They can't even be employed because they tell them you're not from your husband's state. See why I'm asking if you think women are pushed by our society to become members of their husband's states, thereby exposing them to tribalism. There's no protection for them against tribalism.
Of course. I think these are the places where the judiciary have to come in to make up laws to protect them as regards to that, because it's very difficult for a lot of people to accept that. Because they will tell you, a lot of people are sentimental about it. If I'll be in a case sometimes, I'll be very sentimental. If I'll be like, she's not from my place. Use somebody from my place. So for me.
Even though she's married to somebody from your place?
Yes, maybe probably because of sentiment, bias mind. You just make that decision.
No, but let me understand. If she's married to somebody from your place, is she not automatically from your place?
Yes, automatically she is. But I'm talking about probably when you're on the show of the governor, you'll be like, I want a pure indigenous.
But she's a pure indigene. She's married to somebody from there. That makes her a pure indigene.
I get, but when it comes to core positions like that, very core positions, that is a very major position. So you understand that the governor also wants his own person to be there.
No, I don't understand. All I'm seeing is that she's the most qualified to be that. She's from the state as far as her marriage is concerned. She's worked for the state for years, and now we remember she's not from the state.
Yeah, I think it's a personal issue with the governor because he is not okay with her. He wants somebody different.
No, but the sentiment he voiced is a sentiment I've heard a lot of people use when it's time for women to get something. They always fall back on go to your father's state and run for office. Go to your father's state and get the promotion. But they can't even get it in the other state because their father's state will say husband's state and get it.
Yeah, rare, particularly in the Igbo land, if I would use the word Igbo, we Igbos, I don't think we're going to accept that because they automatically, when you pay your bride price, you are automatically the man's own, and you are from his place.
You're saying it doesn't happen in Igbo land?
I don't think so.
Chinedu
because I can give an example.
Asi. Chinedu Asi. Let's open it up. If you're an Igbo person and you have an example of this thing happening in your state, I want to hear from you. The number to call is 0700 993 9993. Kayode is in Surulere. Hello, Kayode.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Sandra. I actually think we're looking at this matter in the wrong way.
Okay.
You know why I say so?
Why?
I say so because you see, let's not bring ourselves down to the level of these governors, of these politicians.
Okay.
You see, we have governors who will just wake up and say because a traditional ruler is saying what I don't like, just dethrone me. The same way we have a governor who for reason some lady probably has given a judgment that he doesn't like, or he has done to her for injunction, and he's just using that. And that thing, he could have done it to a man or this thing.
But we can't now start speculating about what the real reasons are. We're going to look at the reasons that were given.
Look at what I want you to look at it. The members of the state JST that fought for her, they were men and women, and they fought for her. The members of the federal JST that fought for her, they were men and women, and they were also from that state, and they didn't say that. So because of politicians, don't let us start believing that is who we are.
No, but I'm not. Is that not who we are, though? Is that not who we are? If that particular no, but it is. I'm telling no.
Sandra, if it's into a vote within that state, I'm telling you that woman will be the chief justice of that state today. But our politicians...
You will not have people in that state that will say, no, she's not really from our state. Give it to a cross-riverian.
See, that same governor, his wife is probably from another state, and she's the first lady of the state. Do you understand? His sisters will probably be holding positions in that state, or some people that you know. See, it's just... I'm sure if you investigate this thing, you will realize that it's more than that. It's just using this as an excuse.
No, but that's the point, Kayode, isn't it? The point is that this exists as an excuse.
So please, don't let politicians define who we are.
All right. So Kayode's made his point. The fact that this is an excuse able to be used, isn't that a problem? The problem is that this excuse, she is not from the state, is available to be used. That's the problem in itself, no? No? They could have used anything else, but they said to a woman who is married to a cross-riverian that she is not cross-riverian. So whatever the politics is, whatever all of that is, okay, no wahala. But what I am judging is what has been put in front of me. She was told, you are not from Cross River State. Let me hear from Ike in Ejibo. Hello, Ike.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Please, I want to talk on this issue.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know exactly what you are talking about this thing, that we are discussing on this matter. This is not supposed to be subject of discussion.
Why?
Is there no, in Nigerian constitution, is there no provision for punishment as regards to this kind of matter?
Unfortunately, no.
Maybe on the cover of the members of the State House of Assembly. Is there no provision?
Unfortunately,
because
not.
The governor is supposed to resign for this action. And for me, the members of the State House of Assembly, their salary should be cut 50% for 2 months.
Okay.
That's their punishment. Our leaders, they have a way of making this country a laughing stock before the international community. You get what I'm saying?
All right, IK, thank you for calling to say it. You're still listening to the Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. Today's Glass Ceiling, we're talking about something that happened earlier in the year. The Chief Judge of Cross River State, Justice Michael Adem, retired. And when a judge retires, there's a process, right? When a chief judge of a state retires, there's a process. The State Judicial Service Commission sends the name of the most senior judge to the Federal Judicial Service Commission. The Federal JSC appoints that judge as acting chief judge until the State House of Assembly can confirm them as substantive chief judge. So the most senior judge's name, Justice Akwa Ibom, a woman, was sent. Time for the state to send her name. Governor said, "Mba, you can't send it." What was his reason? She's not from Cross River State. She's an indigene of Akwa Ibom. But Justice Ikbeme may not have been born an indigene of Cross River, but she's married to an indigene. Her husband is Cross Riverian. She's worked in Cross River Judiciary for her entire career as a judge. But none of that mattered to Governor Ben Ayade. So they've been going back and forth over it. But the federal JSC overruled the governor and made her acting chief judge. When her tenure as acting chief judge expired, she was supposed to be confirmed by the State House of Assembly. Do you know what? The State House did not confirm her. They said, "You are not from Cross River State. You are from Akwa Ibom." But she's married to a Cross Riverian. And didn't you people tell women that once you marry anywhere, you are now from your husband's place? But why is it that when it is time for them to benefit what indigenes benefit, we remember that women are not really from their husband's place? And when these women go back to their father's states to go and benefit from their father's state will tell them, "No, you're not really from here. You're not married now. You now belong to your husband's people." So women are like Switzerland. Neutral. They're neither here nor there. No man's land. Internally, it's 4:33.
Hard Facts will be right back. announcement.
This is the Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts.
It's 4:38. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Today's Glass Ceiling is a conversation about where women really belong. Where do women really belong? Where do women really belong? Do we belong in our husbands' states, in our husbands' villages? Or do we belong in our fathers' states, our fathers' villages? Kedebaisi, where are women from? Where are we really from? Luke talked about International Women's Day, and the big conversation was each for equal. We were talking about what all of us can do to break the barriers stopping women from progressing. And a lot of men were saying women are their own worst enemies. Women are the ones keeping each other down. But look at this story. We have the governor of Cross River State, a man, actively stopping a woman from becoming chief judge because she's from another state, even though, as a woman, she adopted the state as her home after marriage. Meanwhile, if this woman had decided to keep working in her state of birth, the leaders in that state, most of them men, would say, let her go to her husband's state. So this is one of those situations where men in power simply have to do better. And I'm so glad to hear a lot of men calling in today and condemning what was done to Justice Ikpeme. It's very, very encouraging because we have to recognize what's happening to women here. Married women in a lot of situations are in a no man's land. And this no man's land is being created by the way that we as a society view marriage. If there was no pressure on Justice Ikpeme to belong to her husband's state, she would have pursued her career in Akwa Ibom, and nobody would have ever told her, you cannot have this job, you are not from this state. And guess what? We've talked about this issue on the glass ceiling before. In a way, last year, we looked at how Nigerian men can marry a foreigner and she becomes a citizen. But if a Nigerian woman marries a foreigner, he does not become a citizen. So basically, our law has decided that a wife belongs to her husband's place, but not the other way around. And yet, as we've seen in the case of Justice Ikpeme, one day, the men in the husband's place can decide, no ma, you're not really one of us. By the way, I have a progress report on that story. The National Assembly is now reviewing that law. Some members want to amend the constitution so that all Nigerians, male or female, can grant citizenship to their spouses. So basically, the National Assembly wants all of us to accept this simple fact. Once a man and woman are married, both of them belong to both places. So I'm from Enugu, but I'm also from Rivers, right? Because that's where my husband's from. But I'm wondering if that's something that you will support. Do you think that we could get to a point where the husband is from his wife's place and the wife is from her husband's place? What are your thoughts on that? When we talked about it initially, when I told you about that bill that was introduced in the House to allow women choose which state of origin they wanted, a lot of you did not find it funny. But with this story about Justice Ikpeme, have you changed your mind? Do you think that women should in fact choose where their state of origin should be? Do you think so? Lawrence Nkanu says, Sandra, this is bad politics. Very wicked one that should be condemned in the strongest terms. I'm from Cross River State and this unprogressive politics should be totally condemned. And those involved should be prosecuted. All right, Lawrence, thanks for sending your message in. We have another one here that says women belong to their husbands and Ben Ayade is totally wrong. The law should be amended immediately. George from Ejigbo. What law should be amended? If women belong to their husbands, who do the husbands belong to? Do the husbands belong to their women? It's just a question. I just want to know what you think. Let's take another message here. Good day, Sandra. There've been a long-standing division and hatred between the two states in question. I stand to be corrected. An average Cross Riverian does not like an Akwa Ibom person and vice versa. If Justice Ikpeme were to be an Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa woman marrying a man from Cross River State, the governor would have thought twice on his actions. It's even difficult for Akwa Ibom indigenes living in Cross River State to easily gain admission into universities in Cross River. It's as bad as that. And that's a message from Elisha David. He's from Akwa Ibom, but he was born and brought up in Cross River State. But the point is, that's the reason that was given. That's the point. It's the reason that was given. I like that we're trying to use all these other excuses, but what the governor said is, you are not from this state, even though she is from that state, because she married an indigene. Dixon says, if I may ask, suppose Akon Ikpeme was married to Governor Ayade, wouldn't she be the first lady of Cross River State? I think she would. Sandra, there's no basis to deny the woman the position of chief judge of the state. What we've been projecting all along is one Nigeria. This position of Governor Ayade cannot stand. Even the president says we are one Nigeria, we stand united. Anybody saying state of origin is a yardstick is backward thinking, sentiment and politics aside. Good afternoon, Sandra. These governments are dividing us too much. When you criticize them, they'll use hate speech to silence you. Sandra, this is how men in politics look like in true picture, how they feel they are serving Nigeria with tribalism until the entire nation spills it in their face. They will not stop marginalizing women. It shows they have failed from governor to House of Reps. These people will go to the US, the UK, and China to shake women in top public positions with great pleasure and loyalty, but relegate women and disrespect them at home. This is why Nigeria will not ever develop. Nigeria will not develop with corrupted men in politics, people who use manipulative laws to shut women down from helping the society. We've got Jeff in Ikeja. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Well, Sandra, my opinion on this issue is that I don't know whether all of us are seeing it the same way as I do, but I think Ikpeme has been stripped of any origin or any route to Nigeria. As it is, she is not an indigene of Akwa Ibom State, because she cannot go to Akwa Ibom State right now and they say, okay, come into our judiciary, you become the chief judge and all of that. And she's at the same time not an indigene of Cross River State, because that is what the state has made clear to her. And so by extension, she's not even Nigerian at all. That is what we have imposed on her just because she decided to get married to an Akwa Ibom, to a Cross Riverian. Now, the other side of it is that if when she got married to her husband, she had decided that she wanted to continue her career in Akwa Ibom State, the men would have termed her or tagged her not submissive, that, oh, these career women, that is the way they are. They don't bend to their husbands. They are always independent, headstrong, and all that. We would have condemned her for that. But being the good woman that she is, or she was, she followed her husband submissively and went to Cross River State with him and became an indigene of Cross River State. And now when it gets to rewarding her, we remember that she is not from us. And interestingly, the man who is pushing this is the man who is referred to as the digital governor. So he's been very analog in a digital age. It's so painful from whichever angle we look at it. But I think it goes to show that as a people, we are not yet ready to tackle the fundamental issues that define us as a people. I was reading Ojukuza because I was involved, and he said he suggested as independence, just before independence to Nigerian politicians, that the basis of a Nigerian identity should be his place of birth, not the state of origin. Not all of these things that we tag on people in order to discriminate one another. It is high time that we look into it seriously and do something decisively about it. Thank you very much, Sandra.
Thank you for calling me, Jeff. Let me talk to John in Shangota. Hello, John. Welcome.
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic you brought up this evening. But I just have a question to ask.
Okay.
Is then Ayade himself more cross-Riverian than the children of that woman? Are the members of the State House of Assembly more cross-Riverian than the children of that man, Ikpeme? Because the man himself is a cross-Riverian and those children are there. For their mother to be denied, because some people feel she's not from Cross River. Are they thinking of it in the future? That's the question I want to ask them.
Why
What makes them more cross-rebellion than that man and his children?
Yeah, but you're talking about the man and the children. You're not talking about the woman herself. Why didn't you say? Why didn't you frame the question
I'm trying to
as?
say that if they have that right, the woman has every right to be there.
Okay, I would have been more comfortable, John, if you had said, how is Governor Yade more cross-riverian than the woman? But thanks for calling to share your thoughts. You know, with all of these points that we've raised, I have to ask: should a man belong to both his homeland and his wife's homeland? What about a woman? Should a woman belong to her homeland and her husband's homeland? Because I think if we can all agree as a people that a woman can belong to her homeland and her husband's homeland, and a man can belong to his homeland and his wife's homeland, I think if we can all agree on that, and as a society we adopt that culture, things like she's not from here will not apply. Things like she cannot run in her father's place because she's married will not apply. Things like her husband cannot run for office in his wife's homeland because he's not from his wife's homeland will not apply. Because as a people, we have adopted a culture that said once you are married, you are both from each other's homelands. Do you think that's something that we can do, that we should do? Shina is in Isolo. Hello, Shina.
Yeah, my name is Spina. I'm Spina from.
Spina. Okay, welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been listening to you, and I think the man Ayadi is somebody I've maybe you people are surprised. I'm not surprised at Ayadi.
Okay.
It was the same man that accused Akwa Ibom of treason, and we all know that there's no treason against the state government. The same man has been forwarding budget of over $1 trillion to the House of Assembly when both internal generated revenue and the federal government allocation is less than 500 billion. So the question I really want to ask Ayade, if Ayade's wife is from another state, will he say that the wife is not competent to become first lady of the state?
Good question, Spina. We've got Taris Murphy in transit who says that this is wrong. It is high time they removed state of origin out of all our documents and the constitution. I was born in Lagos State. I grew up in Lagos State and all my life is Lagos. And you tell me that I cannot get employment in the state service. It's so bad. He thinks it's not only women, men are facing the same thing as well. I agree with you that men are facing the same thing as well. But you know that men are not expected to dump that where they are born or where they are from, the way that women are. So even with this thing that men are experiencing alongside women, women have it worse. With every problem men face in Nigeria, women face ×2 of that. Women face an extra on top. It's like eating ice cream and getting extra. It's not ice cream in this analogy though, because it's sour. So women want it, men want it. Women and men are experiencing discrimination, but women are experiencing double that discrimination. Good afternoon, Sandra. I'm Sahid from Festac. This issue... okay, I don't know how to read that. It's not exactly well written, but thank you. We've got somebody talking about something that is not concerning us on WhatsApp. Let me talk to Chukwubike in Ikeja. All right, Chukwubike, thanks for calling me.
Hi, Sandra. So there are three issues I would like to point out here. First of all, the previous caller that mentioned that this doesn't happen in Igbo land. I'm not too sure how true that is, but I can say for a fact that the present incumbent chief judge in Enugu State is from Anambra by birth and married to an Enugu man.
Okay.
So perhaps he has a point.
Okay.
I would love to know that those are consistent across all the Igbo states.
Okay.
Secondly, I think there's a valid debate to be had about why effectively women, particularly married women, enjoy more opportunities in the public service than either their male counterparts or their single counterparts. So I have, from experience, seen situations where there is a position available and there is perhaps a man or a single woman who is equally qualified for that position with another married person, and then they're then able to give it to the married woman because it is the quota of perhaps her husband's state or her father's state. So there is the counterpart to this seemingly sexist position where there could be potentially more opportunities for a married woman by the random.
Yeah, but you're shifting the goalpost. You're talking about an entirely different thing. We're talking about one particular thing here where we're asking where the woman really belongs. Does she belong in her husband's place or in her own father's place?
And I'll get to that. I'm only saying, in the end, right? Maybe this debate should really be about the ridiculous, in my opinion, focus we still have in this country to a state of origin. So in this case, it has affected a woman. I'm telling you, in many other cases, it has affected both men
and I agree with you.
Single women.
I agree with you, and I stated that.
But I'm saying we are going to have to eventually look at the wider issue of this state thing and then think perhaps of residency, particularly tax residencies, for issues of these things. Having said all that, Sandra, what the governor of the government of Cross River State is doing is wrong to the highest degree, and I condemn it. And beyond those issues also, I'm of the opinion that we need to, at some point in this country, start thinking of laws that specifically limit these kinds of issues that have the most impact on women and married women or mothers, single parents, even if not married, or otherwise women generally, whether there are issues from sanitary circumstances in public offices or private offices, to maternity laws on maternity, to issues of work hours and all of that. We wouldn't just leave these to radio debates down and personal issues, but move on to specific laws targeted at those areas. For too long, really, and I agree with this, for too long, the situation in Nigeria, both social and some statutory issues, have been weighted against women, and at some point they've got to be fought with laws that are enforced with the strictest attention possible.
All right, Chukwubike, thanks for calling me. It's a good thing you mentioned laws, because there are two of such laws that could, favor women a lot. So I mentioned the review of that law that says that only a Nigerian man can confer citizenship on his spouse. So if a Nigerian man marries an Oyibo woman, a non-Nigerian woman, that non-Nigerian woman becomes a Nigerian. But if a Nigerian woman marries a non-Nigerian man, he's not a Nigerian man. He cannot become a Nigerian man. So there's a conversation happening at the House of Representatives to review that. There's also a bill that was introduced, we talked about it last year, that will allow women choose which state of origin they want. Do they want to come, married women, do they want to be from their own state, or do they want to be from their husband's state? So they can choose either of those state of origins. And like I said when we started this conversation, yes, it's a matter of tribalism, right? Yes, you may have your concerns about whether or not this is a what's it called now, whether or not this is a women's issue, right? But you also have to understand that when a man gets married, and I said this earlier on as well, he's not told to remove eye from his homeland. And that's why this is now a woman's issue. He's not told to face his wife's homeland. Nobody is expecting him to change his identity. Nobody is expecting him to not be an Akwa Ibomite any longer. Just like Jeff said when he called. When a man is married, he's not expected to make himself the citizen of his wife's state. But all of these things are expected of people like Justice Akwa Ibom. The moment she married her husband, she was expected to become a citizen of his state. And so she worked in the state, she served in the state, she climbed diligently up the ladder, she applied her knowledge as a judge. But now she's being told you're not really from here. So yes, men and women experience it. But my point is, for women, it's even worse. We have a special report on coronavirus coming your way between 5 and 6. That's in 2 minutes. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. We have a podcast. It's called The Glass Ceiling Show. So if you tune in at the end of this conversation, catch it on our podcast, The Glass Ceiling Show.
Hard Facts will be right back.